Good morning from Castellon in Spain. I am here for a UCI race, but I also realised that I need to finish this YouTube video that I made about bike fit that I recently had. So we're going to go backwards in time a little bit in a second in this video. Basically, I had the most amazing bike fit with Adam from Terra, and he changed a few things on my bike, and I'm honestly feeling so much better on my bike since. Like, I've done some power testing and I genuinely feel like a lot of the difference, some of it is obviously like training and hard work over winter, and I've not been sick and things like that, but also I think a lot of it comes down to the bike fit that I had and the changes that Adam made with me. If you want to look at that power data, it's available on my Patreon page behind a little paywall. Price for coffee, you get to know my power numbers if you want to know them. Some people have bought it, so clearly like it's something that I can market and sell. But yeah, it's super interesting. Like, just to give you a rough percentage, I think it was like 24 watts more for a 20-minute test than my last PB, which is a lot of watts more for 20 minutes. So super happy with this current bike fit. And now we'll fast forward and get into the nitty gritty. Adam's going to talk through some top tips for like getting your bike set up right. And it really is important. I think I've realised that this year. I think maybe I was riding bikes in a slightly uncomfortable position in previous years because I hadn't invested in a bike fit, but Adam was kind enough to do a bike fit with me, and the difference it's making is humongous, and I really hope we kind of see that in my racing as well. So yeah, fast forward to Adam, going to talk you through key bits of a bike fit, and we'll look at what I changed as well on my bike.
Hi, my name's Adam. I run Terra Cycling, and we specialise in bike fitting and custom bikes. We had the pleasure of seeing Maddie the other day and helping set her up for the 2025 season. And I'm going to walk you through 5 things that are commonly overlooked in people's bike setups. Number 1 is cleat setback. So the position of your cleats fore and aft on the foot. The way that we do this has changed over the years, and now we're looking for generally more of a rearward bias to offload the calves and improve endurance, efficiency, and keep away from things like Achilles and plantar and calf injuries. Well, I've already fixed something.
I can get on to all those.
Number 2 is insoles. So your foot really needs support inside the shoe. These are custom molded, seen a bit of action, but you need something in the shoe to support your foot. However bad your pronation may be, almost all cyclists could benefit from having an insole, and not having anything in your shoe other than the stock one that the shoe came with is a bit of a missed opportunity.
Just to note, I haven't actually taken this piece of advice from Adam yet, but I am planning on actioning it when I get home. But yes, insoles are great. I currently just have stock ones with my shoes.
The next is stance width. So how far apart are your shoes? That is an aggregate of the cleat position left and right, and also the length of your pedals. Most pedals are roughly the same width, but some are available in wider, and your stance width setup is very important to your bike fit, and it's something that should be assessed by a professional. You can often see when you're riding up behind someone that their feet are too close together, their feet are too wide, but a lot of people are held back by this, so it's something that's worth getting checked. Next is crank length. A lot of people are talking about crank length at the moment. Tadej Pogačar credited some of his recent success with a change in crank length, so hence why shorter cranks are mostly out of stock at the moment. Generally speaking, you're going to generate the same power with a shorter crank, so there is no reason not to change down to a shorter crank if you can then have more range at the hip, keep you away from hip injuries. It's also going to allow you to drop down lower at the front. So generally speaking, you can create the same amount of power but have more aerodynamics or more range. So all benefit, really no hold back. And the final one, number 5, is bar width. Bikes generally come with bars that are too wide, as well as cranks that are too long. You're looking to match the width of your shoulder joints here to the bar, and then allow for any handling characteristics, anything you might need. Racers might go narrower for more aerodynamics. Gravel racers and riders might go slightly wider for more handling and leverage, but the most comfortable setup for you, particularly for distance riding, is going to be matching the width of your shoulders here to the width of the bar. That's 5 things as I see it. Opinions may differ, but best thing you can do, get yourself properly fitted and make sure every element of your bike fit is checked, especially before ordering a new bike or ordering things like cranks, bars, shoes, that you benefit from a bit of professional opinion. Oh, Marty, black cleats.
What's wrong with them?
They're the colour of death for a
reason.
reason. No float at all. You don't like float, do you? Float is evil. And then you're getting pain on the sides of your knees.
Yeah, why do I want float?
You do want float because your knee isn't good at being forced into a certain angle. Do you get knee pain on the road bike?
I think only just since I put these cleats on.
Just to put these cleats on. Yes.
So you can see they're pretty fresh.
They are very fresh. These are set up differently
from each other.
Yeah, I thought the scale was wrong, but actually I think the scale's right. That one's further back. If you look at the number.
So Adam went through a full bike fit with me, which meant looking at the range of movement of my feet and my legs, and also setting up all 3 of my new Lauf bikes. I say 3, I'm getting a 4th mountain bike soon, but all 3 of the bikes that I currently have to fit me perfectly so I'm comfortable training and racing.
In terms of everything that we're measuring here, that's the thing that's easily treatable immediately with something in your shoe, rather than you've got a leg length discrepancy or you've got a big asymmetry in terms of range or in terms of strength. So everything else looks good. You should consider bike racing.
I would say like that feels more like what I'm used to.
How do the cleats feel?
They don't feel super floaty though.
Okay, good. They shouldn't be super floaty. There's a super floaty option, which are the red cleats.
I don't know if I feel like I'm a bit far back.
That's as far forward as this road bike will go. It'd be interesting to look at the parameters of the other frames.
Yeah.
On that alone, the size up would have been a disaster. It's only 10 mils difference. You feel a bit more over the top of the pedals.
Yeah.
That's good.
Like quite significantly.
Don't need the big gear anymore.
In terms of the changes that Adam made, we moved my saddle forward quite significantly, and we also dropped it down a little bit too, and then we're going to bring the stem in and drop the front end down a little bit as well.
How does that bar position feel compared to what you're used to?
That's alright.
And then we're measuring here, so you can see we're almost 20 mil further back than the road bike. So that position now would be way too far back. The pedal would be at this point here where you're generating, on this side, sorry, where you're generating the most power. Your knee's going to be behind the pedal.
Rather than on top of it.
And that's not ideal at all. So I'm going to bring you forwards. Okay. Much better.
Is it?
Yeah, it is further back than the road bike.
But not much.
Only by 3 mil.
Okay.
So I'm happy with that. So I think same again. I think if we just rotate the bar slightly around and then bring the hooks back to this level, like that. And hit the drops. Yeah, just a bit long.
Adam then set up my other Lauf bike with the rigid fork to match the suspension fork bike. Also, just a shout out to Patreon. If you haven't headed over to my Patreon before, check it out. It's a way to just support me in a little way every month, and I'm going to try and put more insights on there and more kind of extra information for people there, so you kind of get something back for the money you're giving me.
She didn't say that.